Welcome into Higher Living. I'm Lance Jaynes. Welcome back, Deb. What's up?
What's up, Lance?
We
How
look
are
like
you?
we're in the Ewok village.
Hey, I love it out here.
I
This
do
is my
too.
peace of mind.
I
Okay, I
know.
have my
That's
little
your back
bird
porch. Ooh, that's
feeders. Yeah,
nice. Yeah. I
yeah.
just
I have my
moved into
bird
this.
feeders, my plants. Yeah.
We have
So
deer
I,
like
I
every
enjoy it.
morning and every night that walk through. It's pretty neat. So,
Really.
yeah.
All I've yet to attract
Yeah.
is squirrels, birds, and possums,
Possums.
and
Ooh,
two
yeah.
black cats. Yeah.
Okay.
So I see them often out here, but no deers yet. I think the deers are on the other side. Yeah. So
They come through like you could set your freaking clock to it. It's pretty cool. So, how have you been?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for coming on last week. I think your energy resonated with a lot of people. Clearly, I've gotten a lot of great feedback, and shit, I knew it when I met you. So I'm glad,
Well,
and that's my
well, I
goal is like
appreciate
to
you for
do
having
this
me.
more and more. And thank you because you're the ones like, hey, you want to do a podcast today? I'm like, yeah, why not? I got to keep
Right,
doing it more
right.
and more and more. So it's good
So
to see
well,
you.
say I'm here to help any way that I can.
I know.
I try to help everywhere I go. I'm
We're,
just being honest with you, Lance. It's just
I
one of
know
those
you are.
things. Is smile.
I know you are.
Smile. It's gonna be okay. Smile for me. All you got
I
to do
know
is
it
just smile
is.
for me.
I know.
And that's what I tell a lot of people. Well, what can I do for you today? Just smile for me. That's all you got to do.
Hey,
So
sometimes that's more than anyone needs, you know?
that's right. That's right. That's
So
right. That's right.
today, and this is all organic, and I try to do these every video that I make of my own, like it's all first take, it's just live, like in the moment, and that's what I try to these podcasts to be. But like you texted me, I was like, all right, and if anything's like you feel anything you want to talk about, and you're like something about control, and I was like, and letting go of it, and you replied, and letting go of it. I was like, all right, there we go. So,
Right. It's the process of asking yourself, what do I have control of?
mhm.
And in control, you have no control if something is it, that it, that you if you're trying to control something, majority of the time you have no control over it. So in allowing self to know that the control is done, that I'm allowing it to, that I'm letting go of it now and letting it go in the past, even though we still have fears that still present themselves to us, we still have to know how to get back to now and to allow the control aspect of it to be let go. Does that resonate?
No, 100%. And I've been through probably my toughest stretch over the last 2 or 3 years. Not
Me
even
too.
close. Just
Me
like,
too.
I mean, like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, I'm trying to, but this is all part of that awakening process, and it's
But
ugly.
I
You got
think
to go
it's
through it.
too. I think it is too that as parents, because I'm going to say parenting is one of these things that we think that a child is going to depend on us and allow us to control the situation that we're in, or that we're in with them. We want to be the best parents that we can. Well, what I have come to find out is, and I'm just going to say this, about 3 years ago, my son, actually it was 3 years in April, that my son had a car accident. And if I showed you the pictures, you would be like, how in the world did he make it out of that?
Wow.
Okay. Well, Lance, what it taught me is I had to release release the control that I had over this child, because what was it doing to me? It was inflicting pain on me. I was not allowing him to control his own life. And so in me releasing the control of, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, wear your seatbelt, make sure that you're not, drinking and driving, make sure that you're not doing this. If this is what he has to learn over his process, I have to understand that I cannot control that. I can only control what comes out of my mouth and the advice that I give him. And so what that did to me was it threw me into a, a dark awakening, like to where now I'm ready for him to catch his flight. I'm ready for him to go out here and to meet a girl. I'm ready for him to go out here and make life his own, work, do things. But if that would have happened 3 years ago, I'm not sure that I would have been able to let go of that control. You get what I'm saying?
I do. And I have 2 kids, and I love that you even brought that up. And I think part of that, honestly, I'm going to guess is probably a mother thing.
It
As
is.
a dad, like, and I have had to go through that as my kids started driving and like cutting them loose. But like, I've tried to empower my kids, and I've realized they're not my kids. They came through me.
Exactly.
Like and that's the thing, like parenting, a lot of parents like get caught up in ego, and you do, well, I had to do this, so you do this,
You're gonna
and you better listen to me. I would rather them be open and share, and sometimes allow them to fuck up, which you
right,
have to do at times.
right.
But
Well,
that being said, when they started driving, it was just, it's been much tougher for their mom than me. And I think part of that is inherent, a mother, like, I mean, shit, I
and
can't
you are, it
fathom
is
carrying a kid in my stomach. Like, I can't.
right.
There's a
And
bond
that's
that
where I
moms
had
have
to
that
put my
dads don't have.
nurturing part,
Yeah.
and that's where I had to take, and I had to put into perspective is you have nurtured him to a point to where, it's becoming controlling. And as long as you're trying to control it, he will never learn for himself. And so what I done? I've stepped back and I've started allowing whatever's going to happen
And
because
it's going
at
to
this
anyway.
exactly, it's going to anyway, regardless of how much I put resistance to it. You
Yeah.
cannot put resistance to what is going to happen regardless of the situation.
Yeah.
Because when the situation, when we're controlling it and the situation happens and it's happy, what do we feel? We feel excitement. We feel, oh, let's do that again. Let's go. But if if you're trying to control it and it turns out bad, you beat yourself up for it.
Mhm.
You're not so loving to self. This up here is a powerful, which is mine, is a powerful part of the body. I mean, it can ruin a day if you allow it to dwell where it doesn't need to dwell. And that's what I had to start telling myself is he's an adult now. He's an adult. Go on about your business. And the fact that I look at reality every day now, it is very, I have to keep the perspective of now because of the fact, I mean, there's things that I see every day that just, you can't control.
Yeah.
Life is that, just man, woman, chick, child, whatever you want to say. It's life, and it can happen just like that. Because I don't know what the next now moment is going to be. So how can I control the next now moment?
Absolutely. And, I mean, that's something that you even helped me with inadvertently, haven't even told you on the last podcast, talking about how you shed light. Like, I'm in this weird place of like in between what I used to do. And I mean, I'm busting it every day, like just trying to survive. But like, I've been like trying to get caught up in like purpose being a job. But like what you taught me is like just the way that you can shine light no matter what you're doing is an awesome
Yeah, no
thing.
matter
And
if
you
you
do it,
walk in,
yeah,
you do it in
alive or
such a
dead.
way. Yeah, exactly. A lot. I mean, it's just like today. I mean, you could, when I walked in, I could tell that the energy was heavy. You know what I'm saying? And so I
Mhm.
walk around and I'm just asking them, what is it that I can do for you today? Can I go get you, a candy bar? Can I go get you, what is it?
Mhm.
And majority of the time they reply back, no, I can't. No, everything's going to be okay. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? To
Yeah.
where you get when they deny it, but as a part of my nature, I know that I am to brighten that person's day and allow them to let go of the control that they think they have
Yeah.
at that moment in time. Because the control that they think, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, they've put too much thought into it and now it's become their own.
Yeah.
I've controlled it and now it's become my own. Well, you can't control that because guess what? Yes, you're seeing real life, but that's not your own, and in doing so, then it just, it just lightens the load in there. Like I said, I mean, I was like, everybody is acting weird today. Why?
There's been
And
this
so when
big
I went
new
in,
moon. Like there is some crazy stuff. And I don't,
oh, Mr. Scorpio,
I know, right?
it's
Yeah.
Mr.
It's in
Scorpio
Scorpio.
moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When's
Yeah,
your
it's in
birthday?
Scorpio. Mine's July. I'm a
July what?
cuss baby. 25th. I'm a
So
cuss
you're a
baby.
Leo, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'm a Cancer cuss. Yeah.
yeah,
hmm
yeah, yeah.
Best
All
of
right,
both
cool.
worlds.
I could have guessed. I could have guessed Leo. I'm a
Could you?
Libra. Yeah, me
Oh,
and
are
me
you?
and me and the Leos get along all right.
Yeah, we do. We do. We do. We kind of
Um,
jive. It's a smooth
yeah,
correlation. It just kind of,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
But
Say
I
but
mean,
yeah, say but
there's
go
definitely
ahead.
been some crazy energy out there, and I've gotten to a place, and I don't know if it's this 3D to 5D ascension that's going on. I just sense it more. I sense it more and more. Like collective.
You're
Do
more
you feel?
aware.
Do you feel
You're
collective
aware.
energy? Do you feel like
hmm
I did a video the other day? It's just like I don't. It's just tough at times for me to like to. I feel like an alien. I feel like an alien on my own planet, like
hmm
in a lot of
hmm
ways, which is part of the
And
process.
it's part of the process, and it's embracing. And it might not be yet to your knowledge, but to where you are a masculine. You are a masculine, and you're more aware of, okay, you're not so verbal. You're probably more beating up, ego inside. You've got to now hone your femininity,
I'm pretty tuned
because
into the femininity. I
I
think I'm
was
a
gonna
pretty good
say
mix.
I
I
was
think I'm a
gonna
pretty
say
good
you're gonna
mix.
have to balance those scales that you are, and hone into, okay, I'm balanced, and I say, given it, because I call them downloads, and I think you've heard me say that before. It's almost like a download. It's almost like it you're not stable. You're not stable. You know who you are, but you're not stable. And when you're not stable, you want to control the unstableness, and you cannot. You have to allow it to continue, because the more you resist it, the more it's going to hit you full force.
And
And
I've
instead of just making it day by day, just day by day, moment by moment. I mean, because there are some of us out here that have to make it moment by moment, not day
I've
by
been
day.
living that way for years, and I used to make a ton of money, like, and but I wasn't happy there either. So I understand that, and I think what I've learned, one of which ego stands for what, edging God out or earth guide only.
hmm
And,
hmm
like we're
hmm
raised to control things. We're raised to be the best. I mean, our school system, like,
hmm
oh, you're an A student. You're better than this person. I was not the A student.
I wasn't
Um,
either.
no, but like
Actually, I was
we're
the one
so
who sat in the
divided.
back of the class with my head covered up, because I didn't want to participate, because the way y'all were teaching, that's not how I learned.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be honest with you. And any of my classmates or anything like that, they'll tell you I wasn't a troublemaker or anything like that. It was just I just stayed in the back of the class. Did I get
Yeah.
along with everybody? Yeah, I got along with everybody, but
That's kind of how it
tuned
was.
in,
I
that's
got
what I
along
was.
with
I was not.
everyone, but I wasn't healed. I hadn't dealt with any of my childhood trauma and stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it took me going to Auburn and moving away, and I mean, I need two people out of 25,000, and I had gone to the school with the same 96 people for 12 years, so it was a
Right,
big
right.
jump. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, and I think what I've learned a lot is that 5% our thinking brain represents 5% of our life and our thoughts, and our
Mm-hmm.
subconscious represents 95%. We're on autopilot so much more than we know.
You
And
see, but now if you will practice being, and I'm not saying, because like I said, the mind is a powerful thing. When you're practicing mindfulness, if you'll tune in, you'll be able to catch yourself at times being like, wow, I know I was somewhere. You get what I know. Look, I actually went somewhere, and you don't even know where I went, but I went there. You get what I'm saying? And you'll have no recollection of where you were, because of the fact, in mindfulness, it's there. It's like an empty space. It's like I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like,
you have to
if
become the observer. And that's like what I've
exactly.
learned through meditation. But even on top of that, what I've learned is the body represents 95% of our life is on autopilot. And for us to get in there and reprogram, it's the elevated emotion. And that's what people
hmm
miss. And I believe that, like, even the Bible talks about when any two of you come together in my name. What I'm learning from like Greg Braden and Dr. Joe Dispenza, that's like connecting the brain heart. Like you have to
Your
feel better.
chakras.
You have to feel better than you are. And feelings are the messenger of the body, the language of the body. Thoughts are the message of the brain. And that's why that's why just thinking positive doesn't work. You can sit there and think and think and think. Oh, sit there and tell yourself, I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy. If you're not feeling it, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Right. You've got to bring the vibration up. And then when bringing the vibration up, to be able to allow, and you will actually feel the tension go away when you release what it is that at the time is controlling you, what mind and heart are not agreeing on. You get what I'm saying? You will actually feel, once you get to a certain vibration, you will feel it click. You'll feel it level up. You'll feel that mind and heart, okay, it's not so bad. Okay, let me go and run that cold shower over me, and let me just think of how refreshing it is, to be back in the now of, hey, I shall not want, Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I say it all the time standing in the shower, and because of the fact I know that that's when I'm the most aware of what's going on. I know that's where I'm at, at that time. I don't know what's going to go on throughout the day. I don't know who's going to bring me anything. I don't know from second to second what's going to happen. But what I do know is it is all about the emotion and the reaction that I have to it that creates the impact.
100%. You just nailed it. And I was going to talk about Viktor Frankl. Have you read any Viktor Frankl, like Man's Search for Meaning?
No.
He was an Austrian psychiatrist or psychologist, was in the concentration camp. It's a life-altering book, Man's Search for Meaning. But I think one of his quotes is like, everything else can be taken from a human being except your ability to choose your outcome, choose your attitude, regardless of what's happening. And
that's right.
Like, that's exactly what you said. And I mean, all change comes with awareness, and I've tried, and that's one of the things I even wrote it in my first book. Like, when I catch myself worrying about things that aren't like, you ask yourself, is it happening right now? If it's not happening right now, it's just not fucking real. It's not fucking real. Pardon my French, but it's not. It's not.
No,
French.
it's not. It's
true. And if it is happening now, good news. That is the only time you can ever do anything about it.
Right.
If you're going to get mugged tomorrow, what can you do about it right now? Nothing.
Nothing.
It all happens now. And I want to get into that, because tell me again what it's called. Like, I listened to our first podcast, which was awesome. Thank you again for coming on. Your energy is awesome.
You're welcome.
What is it called when you do the hairstylist at the
It's called deserology. It's called deserology. Deserology. DESAIROLOGY. And it's just, and the only reason I'm able to practice it is because I'm up under licensed morticians. You get, if I was,
have a license,
if I was wanting to, well, and I'm a cosmetologist as well, but being up under that, it's opened me up to a whole different world. And because when I first went in there, I'm going to be honest with you, Lance, it was breathtaking. Today was breathtaking when I went in there. You know what I'm saying? Today, I mean, I knew I was human today. I knew that I was, I had to start, and I actually, it was crazy because after I got myself together, mortician asked me, he was like, are you going to be okay? And I was like, yeah. I said, but I had to step back and get myself together. I said, because there's, we see real life shit in here like that. And he was like, tell me about it, And so that being said, it was, it was breathtaking, but I got myself together. I pulled myself back to center and told myself, hey, this is a job. Just because you see this is not actually, yes, it's happening, but it's not happening to you. It's not happening to you. Yes, you visualize it, but it's not happening to you, because I'm an empath as well. I take on a lot of emotions that I shouldn't take on from other people. And that's what I said, is when I walked in there, it was really overwhelming. I could feel already. And
was it like a bad, I mean, you don't have to get into details, but like a bad death, I guess.
It was a lady that had been in an incident that she had no part of, but it killed her instantly. She was in a car accident that killed her instantly.
Is this
And
the
it
car chase?
was, I'd
Wow.
rather not reply,
No,
but
but
yes.
like I
And
know
it
people
was,
involved in that. Yeah. Wow.
yes. And it was very, um, very overwhelming, very overwhelming. Um, but I had to bring myself back to center. Yeah, it was it was a
I
hard
know
pill to swallow.
exactly what you're talking about, and I was gonna say I can't believe, but I can believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I'd rather not go in,
No,
like into,
it
but
doesn't
it's
matter. It's not
very,
about that. But yeah, like I mean, you
yeah,
don't.
but you have to control those emotions and just know the thoughts and that, hey, we're now, it's okay. Things happen out of control, out of control, that you think you are controlling, and I can only, pray for her family and friends,
Yeah.
at that point. It's really sobering. I mean, it makes you, everybody's like, oh, well, what you call, what do you call sobering? I call real life sobering.
Yeah.
That was real life. That's real life stuff that you will never understand.
Yeah. How do you deal with
So,
that on a daily basis? Because you don't ever know what you're
a,
walking into.
a lot of meditation, a
Yeah.
lot of meditation, a lot of keeping quiet, a lot of feelings being in check. Um, allowing whatever is going to happen just to happen. That's just how I have to relate to it. I
Which
mean,
is
I'm
the only
serious.
I know, and it's the toughest part of life. Not
It
just
is.
that, but like I mean, everything that I've gone through and keep going through, and like it's sorry, I have to keep waving.
It's okay.
Hey
I
everyone.
can see you. They might not
Hey
be able
everyone.
to see you, but I can see you.
um, I'm getting my situation worked out, but oh God, I lost my train of thought. Just I'm sure that has taught you a lot about being present too, like and
Yeah,
being
it
in that
has.
moment because I'm sure you see people way older than you and way younger than you, and
You
people
do.
die in every possible
You do.
way.
You do. I mean, and people don't really realize it, but I mean, every scenario you could possibly think of was in there today.
Wow.
Child, all the way from newborns all the way up to 100-year-old people.
Yeah.
Every that was all across the spectrum, and you just think to yourself, those are questions that you cannot, you want to ask why, but and I tell them all the time, oh, I'd really like to do an interview on that person right there. That's the one I want to know, just actually what happened all the way up until this date right
Yeah.
here, this moment, that I'm actually standing over you and I am seeing you currently, what happened, and it life is real, y'all. Life is so real,
And that's definitely
regardless if
like
you go through it
yes.
in a cloud or if you go with it and like you see present, which is now the trees, the flowers that are in front of me, my little pooch standing right here. What
Yeah.
it is now,
Yeah.
everything is now. Everything that you
It's
put
as
yourself in the present moment is now. You
and
cannot control the now.
anything that's ever happened in our life happened in a
Is
now.
now.
Wayne Dyer, it took me a
Exactly.
while to really grab. I mean, it's so cliche. Be in the present,
Wayne
live in the now.
Wayne Dyer.
Yeah.
Wayne Dyer will teach you about the now. If you listen to
So
him,
will Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle, especially, and Ram Dass. Absolutely.
right. You definitely have to be present in the now and know that the now is only going to be the next now and the next now and the next now.
I got to
You
meet
know,
Wayne
it,
Dyer in a now moment
did
before he
you?
died. I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it
That
was
would have
really
been
cool.
awesome. I would have
Yeah,
loved to, like,
he
a
went
conversation
to
like
a.
this now would be great.
Oh, I went to a Hay House thing, and he was speaking. It was like 2012, And I just went up afterwards, and he was like handing crap out to people. I wasn't there to get anything. I just I wanted to really thank you. You've been one of my greatest teachers. And it
Mm-hmm.
was great. Talked to him for a minute, and he gave me a CD, and it was a neat experience. But yeah, but now is it, man. I mean, and
And now
that's
is it.
that's what I mean. It's so cliche, like being the president, and man,
Right.
it's tough to stay there.
And
But
we sign
meditation
on for
is
different things. We sign, we
absolutely.
come here, wanting to experience different things, I'm one of these, I want to interview everybody that signed on to do their different things,
That's why I'm doing
in the
this shit.
now.
Yes. Yes.
What brought you to this now?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get here? Tell
Yeah.
me how you got here.
Yeah.
The now, and then after we get through figuring out the now, let all of it go, because I don't I'll remember it, but I'll be like, wow, that's some interesting shit. I
Yeah.
will get from, if you tell me about your nows, I'll be able to get something from it. There will be something that sticks out from it. I'll be like, okay, I'll take that with me. Whatever does not resonate, I won't take.
Yeah.
But I usually say, whatever resonates, take it. Whatever doesn't, leave it. Leave it where it be.
Yeah.
So it's just, being in the now, and allowing control not to be controlled, and not controlled to be controlled.
And it's tough to give up control, especially like when you're in a tough situation, because you've been through them
Oh
clearly the
yeah.
last few years.
Oh yeah.
I have. I mean, when it's like, like I've had utilities and shit cut off, and you wake up and you're like, fuck, the power's not out on my street. It's mine. What am I going to
Yeah.
do? Like, and with kids and stuff, I've had a lot of guilt around that, but like,
Right.
the more that it's I think it's like we've talked about in the past, you're going to keep getting the lessons until you learn. And like, I just kind of rolling with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, I
And you're
can't, I
gonna keep
can't live in
experience the
tomorrow.
lessons.
I can't
You're
live
gonna
in tomorrow. I
you
can't,
can't.
I
You can't.
can't.
Well, who's to say you're gonna be here, Lance?
Oh, I'm not. I
Who's to
may not.
say
Absolutely. Oh, it could drop like
who's
that.
to say that when the source can cut your light off at any time?
Absolutely. Cut that silver chain, they call it. Yeah.
Exactly. He can cut it off.
Yeah.
I would like to think mine's gold, though. Platinum somewhere up there, I want mine to be platinum.
It's from Dolores Cannon. They say there's like literally some silver chain, that and like people that have like died and come back. Have you ever read Anita Majari?
No,
Dying to Be
but I
Me?
will.
You need to write that down. It's a good one. She was like stage 4, like operation table, literally died, ascended, looked down on herself, came back in her body. Within like 2 days, all her tumor, everything had resolved, gone. Like, she's a Hay House speaker and author, but pretty powerful.
Pretty.
But
I was going to say probably pretty powerful.
it is.
In seeing that, how things like that actually happen.
Yeah.
Because I believe in reincarnation. I believe I believe that, you can go and come back. And I actually feel like you can probably astral travel and stuff like
I believe
that.
in that too. Yeah.
I mean, because of the fact, how can you not, where is it that you get all your thoughts from? You have to be able to you have to be able to project and have a broader spectrum in order to bring those things back. You get what I'm saying? For the universe to be able to bring them back to you. Because if you never had those thoughts, well, then we would be in nothingness.
And where do we go in our dreams? No one knows.
No one knows. We interpret them when we come out. But who's to say that those wasn't real life?
What is real and what's not? I mean, and I'm learning that more and more. Like, what I see
say
is something,
this is real, but
and
who
that's
says
the
when
problem.
we're asleep that's not real?
Exactly. I know, right? Yeah. Like, who's to say? Like, and they say that like it's what we experience. Like, if I experience the same event as you, we're viewing it completely different ways. Like, it's crazy to think about, but like, we only have our own perceptions to judge the world by. And that's part of the problem with this world being divided, is because everybody's so stuck on their way and their whatever they think is truth. And you're wrong. And I'm right.
And I tell everybody, what people fail to realize is we are all working for the same thing.
Yeah.
If you would put the goodness in place of everybody's what we call badness.
Yeah.
Or bad or not so good or I don't believe in that. Open up your mind, see that everybody's fighting for equality. Everybody's fighting for equality. Not you, not me, not Joe Blow down the street, black, white, yellow, green, Hispanic, whatever it is. We are all Asians. We are all fighting for equality. And if we don't fight, and I'm not even going to say fighting, because if you're fighting, then there's nothing there. There's really no reason to be. You might as well not even be doing it. It really has to come from the goodness of your heart, and in order to be able to get an understanding of where somebody's coming from. In anything that you do, if your heart is not open and your mind is not open, then you will not receive anything that anybody says.
Yeah.
Nothing.
And what we resist persists as to the fighting.
There you go. It's the control.
Yeah.
It's the control aspect of life.
So what's helped you? I guess give up control.
I lost a stepfather, and I seen my mother grieve.
Mm-hmm.
Something that I will never be able to explain again in my life, that I hope I never experience again in my life. I seen her, and I'm not saying it threw me into being an adult.
Yeah.
It threw me into knowing that, hey, I have to take control. I have to help mom out. I have to start doing the things that I need to do. Well, I had my son at the age of at 19.
Mm-hmm.
And was really on a roller coaster then as well. And he didn't come with an instruction booklet.
No, they don't. I've said that a million times.
And
I've looked everywhere for mine.
I was gonna say, I've searched for that instruction booklet, and finally what I had to tell myself is he's gonna do him. He's gonna do him. And all you can tell him is what I've done. I'm not telling you to do it, but in doing, know that you have consequences, whatever choice that you make. And like I told you 3 years ago, that happened and scared the hell out of me. Like really slapped me in my face. And and him as well, I think, to the point to where anything can happen. And just last year, my mother had a bout with diverticulitis, and we almost lost her. And it took me coming to the awareness of, you might not have that moment no more. So when you have that moment and you think of, and that's in your head, go ahead and act upon it. Do what's necessary to act in a good manner, to do what's necessary and to take care of. I just try to find the goodness in my heart, to do everything out of the act of now, because you might not have the next now. And
now
I've had my grandparents taken from me. I don't have neither one of my grandparents. So, either sets of my grandparents, never knew my father's side. So I can't tell you, so I kind of had to raise myself,
Mm-hmm.
as on that aspect of the male part of it, because I never had that masculine energy come towards me, so in that I've kind of always looked, I'm even gonna lie, to a man, to give me that guidance, when in all reality it's inside yourself.
It's all inside.
And you have to hone in on, or as I like to say, lean in and love on it, and find out what it is that really bothers you. What is really keeping you back from doing what it is that you want to do. What are you scared of?
Mm-hmm.
No need to be scared. Hell, ask my mom. My mom's always been a show. She's gonna be the one that shows you, her stubbornness. She's gonna be the one that shows you who she is. And that's just how I've always been. And as I got older, and like now, I've just embraced who I was, Lance. I've always been weird. Hell, why not be weird? I'm not.
When the going gets weird, the weird turn pro.
That's right. And I keep telling everybody, talk gangster shit until it's time to do gangster shit. And guess what? Usually you do gangster shit by yourself.
That's right.
There's nobody that's gonna hold your hand. There's
Yeah.
nobody that's going to sit up here. You make these decisions for yourself, and the decision of being happy is what you will be. You can set those intentions before you go to bed and when you get up in the morning. If you give yourself good thoughts at night, guess what? Majority of the time you're going to get up with those good thoughts in the morning. If you stay grateful in everything that you do, even if it's the worst situation that you think it possibly can be, as long as you have your wealth, which is yourself,
Your health, you're alive, you're
alive,
you've been
you are
able to
wealth,
eat, you have
you
water,
still
you
have
yeah,
you.
gratitude's yeah,
Humble yourself,
yeah.
listen, meditate, listen for the voice
Mhm.
of goodness. We'll have a lot of bad thoughts. We can I mean, because that's what we're trained to do. You get what I'm saying? Bad thought, bad thought, bad thought,
It's
bad
an
thought.
automatic it's an
No,
automatic
look,
program that runs 95% of our life. But that
exactly.
same subconscious keeps our heart beating, keeps us breathing. It
Hmm.
keeps us alive. And we don't have to
But
you're not sitting there saying beat, beat, beat. You don't have
mm-mm.
to do that. The thing is we got to get into that subconscious and reprogram those old patterns. And it comes from that feeling you got to feel better than where
It's
you are.
somewhat rewire, and people are going to think I'm crazy when I say this, but it's somewhat rewiring your DNA.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. I mean,
Yeah, it's
it's
somewhat rewiring the DNA that you can actually tap in and say, "Ooh, it's not so bad," and then you can feel the stress. I'm telling you, if I'm stressed out, just say that I've had yesterday, getting up this morning, going in, doing what I had to do, and you know, being stressed out, and then you go back out, you meditate, and you're able to, just woosah, everything's okay. Everything's now.
get back to
Yes,
now.
get back to now, and just continue on throughout the day. Just be in the now. Don't worry about 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Be in the now.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have thoughts of it? Yes, because it was visual. It was visual. I actually saw that, but it's now. We made it past that. It's
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So everything that I've ever come out of, I've always, thank source above, whatever your source is, I've always thanked him above, because the fact it's by the grace of him.
No.
And me
100%.
believing that I would come out of it, because a lot of people don't know it, but I've I've faced charges,
Mhm.
that I didn't know that I was coming out of. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That I didn't know what was gonna, and luckily I came out of them with flying colors. You know what I'm saying? Because I humbled myself enough to know that life's short. You could be sitting behind bars, you know, and we'll go into that another time. But I tell everybody at this point in time in my life, Lance, the one person that I owe anything to is my mama, and my mama knows every damn
Mhm. Mhm.
thing I have done.
Yeah.
I had good, bad, ugly, everything. My mama knows.
Yeah.
And why not stand in my truth if my mama knows every damn thing about me? You're the one person that I can that would, hold any grudge, be like, oh, well, that's, she don't do that to me. She don't do that to me, because she knows that what she's instilled in me and what I've learned for myself, that I'm going to take care of me and do right by me.
In truth is I think the best thing, it's the it's the best thing, at least with my experience with my kids, like we talked about, like they're not my kids. They came through me. And
Right.
I've been open and honest with
They
them.
are
Like
their own selves and
they
being their
are.
kings and queens. Yeah. Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
observant, and if you create space for them to come to you and talk to you about things. I remember my son coming in like 8th grade, started asking me about like pot and drugs and different things. Not that he was
Mm-hmm.
doing anything, but he was
Mm-hmm.
safe to do that. He was a little
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable first, and I've just always tried to make it safe. And guess what? He's making fantastic decisions. He's
Right.
living his life. Yes, but he's a
And that's what I
smart
say
kid.
about
And my
mine.
daughters too. It's like they're making good decisions. And I think being open and honest, because so many times as parents we're like, well, I can't let my kid know that I smoked weed or did this or that. Hell no, man. You let them know everything that you've done. Like be honest, and
Actually,
that helps them make better decisions.
it does. It does. It allows, and opening up the door, and don't get me wrong, because I still, I still struggle with being protective. I still want
Mhm,
to protect because I'm his parent just as well as your children, your
mhm,
children's parent. but everybody says parenting is not control. Parenting is advising. Parenting is allowing them to know that they can make, that there are consequences, that we all have a choices in life that either can hold us back or can project us forward. And in doing so, weigh the options. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we've got multiple options that we think will do both, both of them will project us forward. Well, if one don't work out, guess what? Leave the other option open and then pursue it, But in doing that, we all have to know that our children are going to do things that not all of us approve of, because we're not here to approve of
And I was the kid that, like, I didn't drink till graduation night. I was afraid of everything, and
Mhm.
I just had whatever. I made up for lost time. But like, just to, like, be honest, like, I would rather not hide things. Like, I've had experience with
Right,
different drugs and different things, and I can at least tell them, like, what's good, and, like, don't ever take a pill of nothing, especially painful. Like, don't fuck with that shit.
right,
Like,
right,
don't, and you know what? Like, it's through truth, it's through honesty that
right.
I've built that relationship, and I think it's definitely easier for a dad. It's just a mom thing. I get that, because my wife's had a much tougher time, like, letting them be more free, but I think it's worked out well because I've been able to help them with certain things that she's not experienced and not whatever. And
You're right.
it's built
And it's a
trust. It's
good
about building
duo. I was
trust.
gonna say,
About being
right,
trust. It's about being trust. So,
right. So where some things you might not be able to talk about, she might be able to talk about, and vice versa.
yeah,
But me being, experienced with Tyler, just like now he still stays with me. He's 23 years old, and I see now that he needs to be a young man on his own.
yeah,
And there's different things that play into it, because, it's I'm ready to be the empty nester,
yeah,
and I want him to see that it's okay for him to stand on his own 2 feet and be who he needs to be
yeah,
in his own place, doing his own thing, because he is a good kid.
yeah,
I have it for the things that I did when I was a child. I got a good kid.
yeah.
And it wasn't that it was all
You
bad,
weren't a bad
but
kid. No,
I wasn't a bad kid.
you're a product
I
of your
wanted to
environment.
do exactly.
You
I
took
wanted to
your,
do things that not other people were doing, and I'm not scared to talk about it, but it's just one of those things that I allowed him to do the same, and if that's what you choose. And luckily he's a 23-year-old man that has a good head on his shoulder, and is able to make the decisions
yeah,
that if something happened to me today,
yeah,
that he would be able to move forward at
yeah.
this point. I feel like, yeah.
Well, good.
So,
Well, yeah, let's get into
I
more of that and in another
yeah,
episode too. Like, I don't
yeah,
mind sharing my story either.
right.
I love
Yeah,
your
I mean,
energy, and
I don't, because everybody has an experience that will help another. And I mean, I've been a wife all the way to the opposite end.
no,
So, it's just one of those things, and it's all about owning up to who you are, and knowing that. And I hate putting a title on anything, because just because, I could walk out here and I can say I'm a desirologist, but I don't like putting a title on it. I just like to think I'm an ordinary person doing the ordinary,
you're
extraordinary
Deb.
thing.
You're Deb.
Yeah, you just Deb,
You just
you
Deb.
just walk out here and do you, be you. If it's just you, it's
Yeah.
just you. You can't be nobody but you, you, you.
And that's the scare.
In the
I
now.
think that's what awakening is to, like, quit lying and to live your truth in every way. And
Right.
look, not everybody's going to like it. They're not. You're going to lose a
And
lot of
there's not
people
going
on
to
the
be
way,
many
and that's
people
okay.
who resonate with you.
Absolutely.
You might only, this podcast might only resonate with 2 people, but
Doesn't matter.
in those 2 people,
I have a feeling it'll be
somebody
more.
learned something.
We
Yeah,
got some good energy
somebody
here.
learned. Yeah, we do. We do. We really do, but
Yeah,
it's
I
one of those
love
things
your light. Yeah.
it's all about being who you are at the time of the now. Who's to say that I won't get a phone call, a bad phone call or whatever, but it's all about, is it going to shock you? Will it shock me? I'm not going to say if there was anything bad to happen. Would it shock me? There would be an initial shock, but you would have to, but how long are you going to dwell in that initial shock? You still have to come back to now and realize that things happen for a reason. It's either going to be a reason as far as a blessing, or it's going to be a lesson. There's always a reason behind the things that happen. And we will continue to experience the lesson until we either get the blessing or the blessing that releases the lesson.
I'm still in it. I'm still in it and close. And
We are.
I
All
know,
of us are.
but we're all here
We
to
all
take.
are.
We're all here to take our curriculum. That's what we're here to do.
Right.
And we
right.
try to, like you said, like we started this, like we try to control everything. But I've just learned, like, it's not about control. It's about being in that moment and allowing. And yeah, I mean, that's all we get.
And just
Now's all we got.
experience.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Now's all we got.
Yeah. And in
You
the
could
now,
drop
why not
dead right
allow
now.
it to
I could
be?
drop
Yeah.
dead right now. If you drop dead, I could finish the podcast. If I drop dead, nobody would ever see it, but we're still here.
Right. You're right. But it's just one of those things, you don't know about the now. You don't
Yeah.
know what the next now is going to be,
Yeah.
And in doing that, allow your two fishies to swim in the same direction when you don't have a now moment. Does that make sense? The now moments that are intense, the now moments that are dull, just allow the now to be.
I've definitely learned that through the last 6 months or so, and I've had some massive changes, but just to, like, man, if there's a day that I'm off, it's okay. It's okay,
Yeah.
Lance. You're fine. Like,
Yeah, you're fine.
be off, like, but don't stay there. And what can I do to serve someone else? What can I do to help someone else? Like, what am I grateful for? What do I still have? Like, and that's
And what you will find in serving other people, what you will
Mhm.
find, even if it's regardless if it's on this podcast or regardless if it's just out saying a simple hi, bye, or,
Yeah.
going to a local food shelter and, providing, food for the homeless or whatever the case may be, you will find that it makes you feel better inside because you know what, it brings you back to the now. And you know that, guess what? Things could be a whole lot worse. At least I'm able. At least I'm an able body. I'm an able working body in the now, being able to still have thought process of what is going on.
And that's where I'm going to have to, like, right now, because I don't have everything else figured out. I'm looking into a couple things to volunteer, to be active, to help people. And I just have to do that because I have to serve. And it's Ram Dass's guru, Neem Karoli Baba, that taught 3 things we're here to do: love everyone, serve others, feed others, and tell the truth. 4 things. Love everyone.
Right.
Don't have to like everyone. Love everyone. Just love
Tell
them.
everybody that
You can.
wants it.
Look, there's a
Right.
lot of people. Like, there's people I don't like. There's people that don't like me. We don't have to be liked. We can see them for who they are. That part of
Right.
us, that there's a part, like you said earlier, like, everyone wants to be happy, secure, fulfilled. Like,
They want to be in fulfillment all the time. You don't have
which is not
fulfillment all the time.
which is not realistic. But I'm saying, like, we're all the
Exactly.
same. That we all have the same. We're this world is so divided, worse than ever, on color, on race, and this and religion, and this. Like, we're just so sickly divided. Politics,
It's
everything.
race. We've now become a black-white country. We've now become a blue-red country. We've now become, and I'm talking about, and this can go as far as the world. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, it's absolutely
there is never. I mean, the veil right now, I feel, is so, it doesn't want to be revealed. So we still have a veil over us at this point. You get what I'm saying? We still got a lot more work to do, and it is being lifted. But there is, where it, as Ralph Smart says, just wait, just be in tuned and just wait.
Yeah,
you'll see it. And he was one of my first people that I really started listening to, and just,
Yeah.
and it took me for, it took me for a loop. And at first I started, like, what is he, what is he on, but after I got to listening and actually digging and, following some of his, his spiritual teachings and stuff like that, I really got into listening to him in the now, and actually being able to pay attention that when you walk outside, people are doing just that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And it's all of, and wherever your mind dwells, that's what you're going to. But that's where you have to remove yourself and be in the present and know that, hey, this is not my reality. I can change my reality. I know I can change my reality because I'm a universal person.
And it
I
starts
get along with
our
everybody.
thoughts, and not just thoughts, emotions. You got
And
to
the heart.
feel.
Yeah.
That's the kicker, and that's where everybody's missing the boat, I think, the most. It's about,
It's
you
about,
got to
it's
feel
about,
better. You got to feel better than where you are. You got to
right.
feel it.
It's
You got to
about
feel it.
being able to have all the way from your feeling grounded. If anybody knows what feeling grounded feels like, and people of meditation will, they know what I'm talking about. But it's being present. It's being able to just just allow.
Yeah.
It
And it's
just
tough.
is life, not live. Always life. Always go forward in life.
Yeah.
Always go forward in life. And if you continue to sit back and think about the things that have been lived, which is the devil, which is in the past, which is what sometimes our fears are, because we're scared to let go and to allow the control just to be.
Yeah.
You just have to be the now.
And we can only control things in that now. I mean, that's what I'm learning. I mean, I
And
struggle
are
with
you
it daily.
controlling it?
Huh?
You can't, I mean,
Not
I
control, but
can't
like you can
no,
only all right, you can only deal with things in the now.
right. You can
And
only,
that's what
like, I
catches
can't
me,
control
like,
what
because
the
I'm
trees are
like,
gonna
oh
do.
shit, like if I don't find a job, like blah blah blah. But right now, I'm okay. I have everything I need right now, and that's all I can do.
Right.
And
Right now.
that's all I can do.
I mean, because who's to say that you're right now, you wasn't supposed to be doing right now? Who's to say? I mean, even though it's on your brain that, hey, I should be doing something else. I should be doing something else.
I disagree
Who's
with
to say
that.
that source? Who's
Should have and would have. We need to drop those from our vocabulary. If you're not do, I hate when people say that. Like I should have done that. Well, no, you shouldn't have, because
no,
you
you
would
shouldn't
have.
have.
You would have
But
done it,
who's?
or you shouldn't be doing something other than what you are. You would be doing it.
You're right. But who's to say that your source does not say that you are to do this now? Your source says you are to do this now. He doesn't have, you're still in projection of what you are wanting. You are still figuring out what it is that you want. And when you are ready for that, he will face you with that.
Yeah.
He will give you what it is that you need at that moment in time that you think you have so much control over, and it might not even be what you're looking for.
Yeah. No, 100%. And you know what? This is one thing I can't control in the moment, is doing an awesome podcast with awesome people.
That's
For
right.
real. Like,
That's
no, I
right.
mean, like your energy is great. Like I've felt it before we came on. The show's done great. Like, not that it's about doing great or whatever,
Yeah.
but none of that matters. It's reaching people, and I'm so grateful for you coming on again.
So, well, I
Let's
appreciate
make
it,
time
Lance.
for this.
Definitely. Hey, now that I'll
The
have
door's open.
ideas for you all the time. I'll have ideas for you all the time.
That's
I
my
will.
thing. Like I've just been going through everything else, and like this is something I love to do, so I have to make time to do it. Like it's in spite of everything else. Like
and
this is,
and in the moment that you're experiencing one of those, some of the life that you're feeling overwhelmed and stuff like that, allow that projection to be one of the things that you still deal with on everyday podcasts. Hey, I'm going through something right now. I'm not going to give you the whole gist of it, but this is what I'm experiencing. This is what and just know that a spiritual being still experience life.
yeah.
They still experience. It does not matter if you're spiritual or you're not. Who's to say that you can't get gangster on somebody? Who's to say that you can't You can't go out here and still give somebody a piece of your mind, because guess what? I'm still doing things human-like. That's the only thing I know. And yes, are there times that I feel like an alien, that I think that people do not relate to me? Sure.
Yeah.
Who don't? Yes, I do feel like that. But that just means that they were not meant to connect with me at that moment.
Yeah.
But believe you me, after I get through saying what I said, they'll be like, oh, she was crazy. But you know what? Now she makes sense. Now she makes sense.
Yeah.
So, there's always something that somebody will take from it, regardless if it's a bad experience or it's a good one. You just got to know that your intentions behind it were always for the best at that moment and moving forward.
I agree.
So,
can we keep this train rolling? You want to
we can
come on like once a week? Like, that'll be awesome. Like, just to build this, like, and let's get going. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it. And we'll have different topics. Like I said, we'll have different topics that we talk about, even if it's
we could have a
outside, but
15 minute quick recording on something or another. Absolutely. I agree completely.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
I love your energy.
Thank you, Lance. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad that I randomly walked in to get my hair cut for the first time in months when you were there.
I know, it was crazy. It was like,
what an accident, right?
Right. It was.
Not at all.
Or was it intentional?
No, it's not an accident. No accident.
Yeah, it's not an accident. No, it's not an accident.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, just keep me posted. I mean, as we talk, we talk daily, but just keep me posted, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Sounds good. And thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Deb, so much.
So much. Thank y'all.
Your light is awesome. You have such good energy. Thank
you. I appreciate it.
You do. No, you already know that, but it's so good.
I'm just here to help whoever I can. I really do. I help here, just here,
Let's just have fun doing this shit.
2-3 people, it just does it. If it doesn't, then hey, at least you and I had a great podcast together.
Absolutely. It's all fun. It's all shits and giggles. Let's do what we can do to put our good where it does the most. How about that?
Yeah, that's
high five.
Right.
Do a high five. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for watching Higher Living. Please hit like and subscribe if you like what you've seen from Deb and I or anything else. And thanks for tuning in. And look forward to more and more of this. Thanks, Deb.
We got it. All right, let's go.
Take care.
Bye.